Hey, and we're back with another episode of the Youth Ministry Booster Podcast, hanging out in the garage with our buddy, Wyatt Pennington, my man. Come on, you're here.
I'm here. I've made it.
After many texts and the birth of your first son, welcome, Father Pennington. How are you, buddy?
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm good.
Oh, my gosh.
Glad to finally make it to the illustrious podcast studio.
Hey, listen, man, the garage heat is on. It's winter time.
Yeah.
We actually talked about doing this almost a year ago, and then we got snowed in, of all things, and we're getting this one recorded right before the snow comes in again.
Yeah, we're preparing. Everybody's out buying their toilet paper and ransacking everything.
To be very truthful, that's where I'm headed after this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I was sent on a mission that before the snow hits, I've got to get eggs, and I've got to get milk, and I got to get salt for the sidewalk.
There you go. There you go.
Unfortunately, Walmart doesn't sell those all in the same section, but I get it. Oh man. Well, dude, tell me a little bit, like what's new with you? I mean, a year ago, we were talking about baby on the way. Baby is here now.
Yeah.
Ministry's growing and doing. But for our friends that don't know, now they know. Wyatt Pennington here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, working at Battle Creek Church as the lead youth minister at the Broken Arrow campus. Dude, how is family life? How's fatherhood? What's one thing that fatherhood has challenged or changed for you in either in life or in ministry?
Dude, that's a great question. So fatherhood's taught me a lot of things, and so I'm going to try and be not such a serious, but also funny. So it has taught me, one, I have an obsession with my son being an elite football player.
Okay.
He's massive. He's a 27-pound, 31-inch, 10-month-old. So naturally, I was an offensive lineman, and so everybody that sees him, they're like, future left tackle. I'm like, no. He's going to be a quarterback. I wish
we're
going
to
to
teach this boy to throw.
He's going to be the hefty lefty. The next Ben Roethlisberger is right here.
Tower of Power, young Pennington.
And so that's like a funny thing. A serious thing that I've learned is just sacrifice, man. Like that's a big thing that it is worthy to sacrifice for my son. Sacrifice sleep, sacrifice comfort, sacrifice hobbies, like all the things that you don't think you have to let go of when you become a father.
Yeah.
It's worth doing it for him. So it's a big thing.
That's awesome. No, it changes. There's something in it that it is you thought you knew in a certain kind of way that you were sacrificing, and you realize that you still had more to give in all the right ways. So. Well, how has that impacted ministry? I think we don't talk about that enough, but as a young dad doing ministry, you were ministering before, you're still ministering after. What does that change maybe in the cadence or the rhythm or just the approach to a week or a month in ministry?
And I think that's a really good question. I think before my son was born, I was always on this train of what are the things that only I can do those things, everything else give away.
Just dial it in. Yeah.
And I thought I had that dialed in before my son was born. But then when he was born, now I'm like, I have even less time because going to every football game or going to every recital or going to every basketball game isn't as possible as it was before. I've got to model boundaries to my students that are like, you coming to my game at 10 p.m. on Thursday?
Tuesday at 10, let's hang. You're like, no, sir.
I can't.
No,
I got to put my son to bed, and he just doesn't sleep. And, so that's a big thing that's changed is modeling boundaries for my students and trying to, bring some of that guilt maybe to the Lord of, feeling guilty sometimes that I'm not at every game or every thing that's on my calendar that I could go to. But again, kind of knowing, man, it's worth it. It's worth it to be home for my wife, for my son. And also the students get to see, man, he might not be at my game, but it's because he's prioritizing his family. But then communication at home too. Hey, I probably need to go to the hometown rivalry football game on a Friday night.
We do have these community events that we have planned to go to. But do you feel more overscheduled? Do you feel like that was an area that was a good kind of growing pain? Do y'all have more weekly family business meetings of just
oh my gosh, yes, money, all those things
the Sunday scaries. Come on,
we've got to be way more intentional now. With those types of conversations, especially thinking about a second kid and thinking about other things that are oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
So nice. Let's try this twice.
So we're definitely more proactive about those conversations. Having to have more conversations about things you never think about. How do you tell your son no? Because he doesn't understand. Just saying no.
He don't get it.
no what?
He don't know. Yeah.
Don't touch the dirt in that plant pot and eat it. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you, not just no angrily.
Just can't. Yeah.
And he laughs at no most of the time anyways. I'm like, no. And he's just giggles.
Well, that's because he's the QB1, man. He's
That's
got
right,
his own
dude.
plan.
That's
He's got
right.
his own
Hefty
plans. Well, man, tell me a little bit. I know for a lot of our folks, like youth ministry is this like unique and yet shared kind of thing. And I think one of the ways that we come to kind of a shared appreciation is the ways in which like we get to hear each other's call stories. And so, I mean, I've always known you as like youth pastor Wyatt. I know there's like things that were true before. We talk about, you know, whether it's like Toonami after school or high school football or getting married and being a father. There's these different like axes that we've become friends on. But like, how did you end up in this role, in this work as a thing that you've been doing now for several years, right? Like, is this year
6
number
years.
6 years? Yeah. So why is this the thing that's still the thing?
Man,
or how did you get to it?
No, that's a really good question. So I did not grow up in a Christian home, which is kind of interesting being from Tulsa.
Yeah.
Because there are...
Not gonna lie, a little rare. I mean,
Yeah.
we got a lot of nominal Christian homes in Tulsa. We don't have a lot of non-Christian
Yeah.
homes in Tulsa. Everybody's got at least a little bit of a Creaster church on Easter, Christmas affiliation. Yeah,
and we weren't even that.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't go at all.
Like Christmas Eve, we can eat wherever we want.
Yeah, literally. We were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We were no candlelight service, nothing. Now,
now you go to 5.
Yeah, that's right. Now I have many. And so while I didn't grow up in the Christian home, as you said, all of my friends were either Creasters or went to church regularly.
Yeah.
So when I'd stay the night at a friend's house on Saturday, the rule was
We
got to go to church on Sunday.
We going, yeah.
And as long as they fed me breakfast, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going.
Close
I
enough.
don't mind.
Yeah.
So I, like, the reason why I'm in student ministry now, and I say this to a lot of dream teamers, and that's what we call our volunteers at Battle Creek, our dream teamers. When they're intimidated about serving in student ministry, they're like, I don't know if I can relate. I'm like, hey, man, the best thing about student ministry is we all have experience.
Yeah.
You were a teenager.
Yeah.
Think back to yourself as a teenager.
Your
What did you need?
17-year-old self. Yeah.
What did you need? What did you wish that you had? Be that.
Yeah.
And so for me, what drew me into student ministry was the fact that I had a friend that who I would always stay the night at his house on a Saturday. I'd go to church with him on Sunday, and there was a day where he said, hey, you know, as teenagers, we meet on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
And I was like, church in the week?
That's
okay.
crazy.
Is
Okay.
it like Sunday morning? He's like, no, there's pop, and it's called Fuse.
It's Fuse.
I was like,
yes.
oh,
dude, come on.
Come on. And so I would go to Fuse.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
For an ad break. Did you go to multiple churches? Like, did you have other really like humorous, maybe dated midweek names for things? I mean, whether it's
Fuse was one, Forge was one,
Ignite, classic. We love Ignite. Shockwave. Went to a youth group growing up called Shockwave. Yes.
It was. I don't know why we just had to have some sort of name that wasn't.
Well, so this goes back to my theory. I think every '90s youth pastor was a secret pro wrestling fan, and they needed like they grew up on the area of like Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Nitro, and they're like, we have to have programming titles for what we do too. And so, you know,
we walk out with all the flames, before the sermon.
It's just shout out to Pastor Josh here on Wednesday Night Thunder, bringing the noise.
Yes,
so
it was exactly like that.
So growing up at Fuse, so did it deliver? Did it have all the pop games and entertainment you were hoping?
It had the pop, the games, the entertainment. It had members of the opposite sex. That
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
It's
it's like school with no grades.
exactly. And so it was amazing. But the best thing about it all is as summer approached, they started talking about something called camp.
Okay.
And I was like, I love camping.
I love camping.
I'll go camping with all these people that I barely know. I had no idea that there was going to be like Jesus involved at this camp, but it was. And I'm a church camp salvation because of that. Like, I gave my life to Christ at student camp.
Yeah.
And the very next
So you're
year,
like camp true believer. Like, because
Yeah,
we've had some
dude.
folks on the show that are like, if I could change one thing about youth ministry, it would be camp. And
No
I'm looking at
way.
you, Higgins. But yeah, no, for you, but for Wyatt. Yeah, Team Wyatt, Team Camp.
Yeah. It changed my life. And the very next year, they did a call to ministry response at camp. So I went back year 2, and they did a call to ministry response. And before I knew it, I found myself standing. And I was like, why am I standing right now? I don't even know what ministry is, but what I did know is that I needed to stand up.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the moment for me that and whatever this is that God is doing with teenagers, I want to be a part of that. Then it was years of me running away from God, and we briefly talked about football, but like that kind of became my God throughout high school, and I ended up playing college football for a little bit, and it was when I moved far away from home to play football that the Lord kind of recaptured my heart, and that was the time frame I began to serve at a ministry. I was like, okay, now that I feel like I'm going all in with Jesus, I need to do something with it. And so I started serving at this church in Conroe, Texas, and I was like, I'm 19 years old, so what's the most relevant thing in my life? I was just a high schooler. I'm going to serve in student ministry. And it was that student pastor there that was like affirming that call to ministry in me as I was serving there and connecting with high schoolers, and like radically changed my life. And God had a funny way of doing things, because that student pastor that was there ended up being a student pastor at Battle Creek Church, where I'm at now. And so when I ended up leaving college football, I finished my school here in Tulsa at ORU. I studied ministry and theology, and when I graduated, he was who I called.
He was there waiting.
And he's like, come on, come to Battle Creek. So
that's the beautiful legacy of like what shepherding can look like, though, right? It doesn't always end up that way, but there are those moments where it's like, this is what shepherding can be. This is like connecting the dots, connecting the links from like the willingness and the call into the thing that became. And so, okay, man.
And here's what it never was, Zach. It was never, all right, Wyatt, we're going to sit down for an hour and we're going to go through the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Or I'm going to run a diagnostic of your personality profile, and I'm going to give you intentional coaching. It was my buddy Jay Wynn who was trying to teach me how to juggle as we were moving pool tables and moving basketball hoops and or straightening chairs and picking up trash, and I just wanted to be with him. And it was in that like camaraderie that I more is caught than taught. I've heard.
Dude,
said.
It's say it again, because it's true. It's true.
More is caught than taught, and so that I was just catching everything he was doing and saying, and I wanted to be like him. So
come on. Well, man, we are excited to have you here. We've got a couple other folks that are coming through the next few weeks talking about in the first 5-7 years of ministry, what they're learning, what they're doing. I think there's a lot of times there is this. I mean, you kind of basically started right before the COVID wave of stuff in a lot of ways, and so there are some things that we're all learning or relearning. But I wanted to just ask you, as someone that works with a lot of students and then works alongside other youth pastors, what are some of the things right now in this season? We're kind of on the verging of a new year, maybe things that have been planned or that you are planning. Where is ministry overemphasizing that they shouldn't, and what are we underemphasizing that we should? I think it's one of those course correctives. Again, we always want to be about a lot of things, but time is scarce and time is limited. And as you're learning as a father, like, what are some of those things, either for you personally or maybe even commentary of like, man, we really shifted from this to this, or we really try to reclaim that? Because I think that is a little bit of the tension of like, we can't do it all, so what are we actually trying to do with what we can?
I think it's a really good question, and I'm going to say something.
Come on, hit us with it.
That might be heretical in student ministry, okay? And so if you need to end the episode after this,
make the truth plain.
So here's what I would say. What I think that we might be overemphasizing right now as student pastors, and maybe I can just speak for myself and what I see in our context. It's students. Okay, that's kind of a bomb drop. Now here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying students aren't important. I mean, we're student pastors. That's why we're in it.
It's kind of a big part of the deal.
It's kind of like, it has to be a part of the deal, right?
Let the farmer not neglect the crop.
Yes. So I'm not saying stop focusing on students. That's not important. But what I am saying is, I think what I notice is we put all of our eggs in the basket of just students and 0 of our eggs in the basket of what we underemphasize, which is parents. I know this is, a passion for you. It's something we've talked about many times. But what I feel resting heavy upon me is parent ministry. I mean, that is a massive portion of how to even reach a student, how to help a student, how we would say advance in their journey with Christ. I need to equip the parent. I mean, how many parents, honestly, Zach, how many parents are spiritually intimidated by their kid? Because they come home talking about, hopefully we just preached this fire sermon on a Wednesday night. They're coming home talking about, some crazy thing that they just learned. And the parent's like, I have no idea what that is. I'm afraid to ask. Because what if my student asks a question I don't know how to answer?
And that is it, dude. Like that, and that's one of those things that like we can get really excited about what's in front of us without seeing about the ways it feeds it. And in the language of man, I would use language of intimidation of like, man, I don't know if I know enough to answer all these questions. I would offer even like a layer of insecurity. Not that like, I mean, especially for the folks, the parents, the families that are coming in a part of church stuff, like they see the value. Like you don't have to convince them of the value. Their kid's already there, but the ways in which they function inside of it. And I think that's something that like we have to ironically from inside the machine help speak outside of what's going on, lest we be the ones that just keep spinning the wheel of what we're doing week after week and feel frustrated. And I mean, you said it plain, but you said it truthful. Like sometimes student ministry can be so obsessed with students that we miss the ministry. And I think it's real. I think it's real.
And here's the thing, like some of the stuff that we're doing, like we get such a limited time with students during the week on Wednesdays. And if you do, something on Sundays for your student ministry, like that's really all we get. But parents are the primary discipler of the home, which is like a cliche that we've said 1,000 times, but that's true. Like it's a cliche because it's true.
It's true.
And so what are we doing to equip them? Like whenever we're writing a sermon series, are we writing with that series parent resources?
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's the sermon I preached.
Yeah.
Here's questions that can be had around the dinner table when you're like, what did you learn? And their teenager says, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know Pastor Wyatt said this.
Yeah. Ooh, come over top layer. Yeah.
So there's things like that I think are widely valuable. I've taken an inventory of myself as well of, man, how many parents know who I am outside of the parents that serve in my ministry? Like just a general parent of someone outside of seeing my name on an email, from Wyatt of Battle Creek Church, do they know who I am?
Yeah.
And a part of my story with my parents is like, they're still not believers. And the only time that student ministry that I gave my life to Christ in and surrendered to a call to ministry, the only time they reached out to my parents was, hey, you still have a camp balance that needs to be paid.
Yeah. Don't forget to turn the form in.
How often do we do that to our parents where it's just transactional interactions?
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do is shift our ministry programming that's still very focused on reaching students, forming students, developing students, but including parents in that process. And so like once a quarter, we're doing like a parent night, which is not a new thing. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
But you're committed to it, and not everybody is committed to the time and the space.
It's going to become a rhythm. Okay. It's going to become a thing that people expect.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be just a parent camp meeting where let's go over all the rules of camp or let's go over all the rules of our D now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a message with worship that's prepared for them with the spiritual response at the end where parents can come forward and like surrender things. And we've got people in there that are laying hands on parents and praying over them. They're going to walk away changed just like the students are.
Yeah.
And they're going to trust like, man, my kids are getting something good going to Battle Creek.
Well, and to consider the parents and their own spiritual health. And I think, I mean, you named it. Like this is not just, they don't need more information. Like that's the frustration that a lot of our youth ministry friends feel because they're trying to do the good work of communicating and 100%. Send the updates, craft the newsletter, have the bulletin board put together, assembled, whatever. But like that's not the end of it. Like the hope of it, in the same way that the youth ministry isn't just we had things that were going on, was the right kind of things that actually nurtured and fed. And I think that's it's hard to know. So for my friends that are listening that maybe aren't parents already, it's hard to know some of that. But just how limited time is when you become a parent, and then how ironically also how hungry you get for things that feed and nurture you, because you're always either, whether it's through work or family, pouring out. It's a necessary shift. One of the things that Chad and I talked about is like so much of youth ministry kind of happens in waves or levels, and that first move often is to go from just seeing my role as minister to students to minister of students. Like it's the camp counselor turned camp director, right? Like, you know, at camp, like, I love these kids, summer camp's great, but to carry the camp analogy, like the director is the one that's like thinking about all the pieces, but then also the stakeholder of like, what are the things that actually get kids here? And that's the family units that they go home to. And that plays out week after week after week, but that's part of who we are and what it's about. So, man, come on. Good. We love an advocate for camp.
Come on.
So bring it on. I do want to ask you though a little bit, and this is some of the things that we've just had as like sidebar conversations, just in the way that we text and talk to each other. We're living in a unique time, and this is some of the things I'm interested, like in your like youngness, I guess, as the guy who's aging into 40 gracefully, for my friend that is on the younger side of ministry, and maybe more even like, is it fair to call you Gen Z? Are you Gen Z?
I'm a millennial, technically.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that makes me
like,
the oldest millennial.
You're
the oldest millennial. Well, as the youngest millennial on the planet, who is fully enmeshed in the ways in which like social media and apps, and you probably were born. You had a phone before I even thought about having a phone. What are the ways in which you're pastoring now, considerately, thoughtfully for teenagers that maybe they're screen obsessed? This is a tension that I think some of us are feeling, that some are less obsessed than they used to be, but they're so used to, like, screens are how we learn at school, screens are how we interact with friends, screens are what we do to occupy our time at home. How is that affecting how you plan, lead, teach, and do in ministry as someone who is like much closer to their age than like I am or other folks?
It's the sages of student
Some of us, they're just like, put your pagers away, we're about to preach.
Oh man, I think that's such a good question, Zach, and something I think I've wrestled with when it comes to phones and just the digital age that we live in is kind of this duality of it's either good or it's evil. Like phones are bad, social media bad, games bad, and I don't think I'm winning over any student by constantly saying it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Because the reality is, as you said, it's a part of their life. I mean, they get a Chromebook in every single classroom, or a little MacBook.
Limit your screen time, and you're like, when we use it at school all day, or whatever.
Exactly.
It's a different thing, but it's also a huge part of their life.
It's a joke that our church is in a digital fast right now.
Okay.
And it's a joke that we made, like, I guess I'm fasting from work because all my work is on my laptop.
Yeah, digital fast, no emails for me.
I'm taking a break for 28 days.
Drop me a memo in my physical inbox.
Send me a letter or something. But students are kind of making the same joke. Like, well, I guess I'm not doing school.
And
now so many students have the option of just doing online school. They're not even showing up. They're working, at Taco Bell during the day and doing their school in the evening. And so I think that that's a tension to be managed rather than a problem to be solved.
Okay.
The reality is students are going to be they're going to be involved with digital things. They're going to be on social media. They're going to be playing video games. And so I don't think that we should harp that it's like this spawn of Satan evil, but rather teach them proper boundaries, proper rhythms, and proper habits with the digital. What is a tool or a utility with the digital? And then what do you do just for pleasure or just for fun or just to numb? And it kind of relates to the parent thing with information. Like, I know many parents that I've had conversations with that they're struggling with our digital fast because when they're done working and their kids are being crazy, they just want to mind numb and scroll.
Just doom scroll till sleep.
And we all know that once you're done doom scrolling, you never feel better. You're like,
you feel bad, so you keep scrolling to feel better. The language around I think it's, I don't want to say it wrong, and so correct me in the comments, but like reactive attachment or reactive disappointment that some of us, because we didn't feel fulfilled in what we did all day because we were either living distracted or we felt like busy work, we end up like doom scrolling to try to make meaning out of our thing, but then we end up feeling worse, so we stay up later, so we don't sleep as long, and it's like this crazy cycle of like, just because we didn't manage distraction earlier in the day, it like messes with us until like 11 p.m. every night, and like that is harrowing for some of us that are like, no man, I'm just kind of unwinding, and you're like, oh no, like that's code for disaster.
I've told my wife many times, like, sometimes it's nice to just turn my brain off. But that's not at all what's happening. That's not. No, it's not. We're cotton candy flossing our brain because we didn't want to deal with whatever else was going on, and this doesn't. And it never makes us feel better. Like it's like it literally is the opposite of like when Karen and I like I'll go to the gym in the morning, she'll go in the afternoons, and like on the days it's really hard, it's like the line is always, it was hard today, and it was like, but I didn't regret it. Like it's one of those, there's some things that like you never regret it, but there's some of these you're like, oh man, I was on YouTube like for a full hour before dinner and I feel nothing but regret. And then you ask like, well, what did you watch? And you're like, I don't even remember. I don't know.
It was just there. It was just there.
Movie clips. And
somebody put a bunch of TED clips together that made me feel smart, but then I don't remember any of them. Oh
Well, it's like those videos that you see on Instagram or TikTok where it's like a TED Talk or like something on top, and then it's like a Minecraft video of like someone jumping across like an obstacle course on the bottom.
They get me every time. Where it's someone's commentary on the thing with the activity and
and it's just like before you know it, you've seen so many of those. You're like, I don't remember any of those stories or the TED Talks or nothing.
Whatever.
It just was a wasted time.
Just a stream of.
So, but I think that's the heart of kind of what we're talking about. Is our students are kind of inundated with a lot of that.
Yeah.
So what I know to be true is our algorithms are discipling our students, whether we'd like to admit it or not. Like, they're billion-dollar organizations fighting for their attention.
100%.
They have more resources than I do.
Yep, they do.
They don't have the God that I do, though. And so, like, partnering with that spiritually, I think we offer something that the digital cannot.
Yeah.
However, I think it needs to be married together. And that's been a challenge for me because I'm like, man, I don't want to be on social media.
I don't want to be that guy. Yeah.
So how do I engage with them on social media? The balance for me, and I have to model this for our students, is, okay, I have social media so that I can connect with my students.
Yeah.
But 90% of my time on social media is
just existing.
existing.
Research.
I'm not putting any content or trying to engage with students in that way. So I think it's important, like, for us to model those boundaries and those rhythms for our students.
Yeah.
And so, like, for every youth pastor that's listening, and this is for myself, honestly, like, when I wake up in the morning, what's the first thing I grab? Is it my phone?
Yeah.
Or is it something else?
Yeah.
And we make it really hard because my phone is my alarm.
Yeah.
My phone is my calendar. My phone is literally everything is my phone.
My sleep monitor.
Literally. And so I make it impossible for myself to not grab my phone in the morning, especially if it's my alarm.
Yeah.
And so what I've tried to do, and I have a team at Battle Creek of 3 full-time student pastors, and I'm trying to model this for them, and so that they model it for their volunteers and their students. But I'm trying to go a little bit more analog.
Okay.
Trying to be a Renaissance man.
Okay,
I have like an
in.
analog alarm clock now.
Yeah, you
so my
do.
phone can be in another room at night.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I'm not worried about not waking up on time. I just crank the little dial.
Yeah.
Make sure the batteries are in there.
Let the FM radio come on. Come on. Yeah.
Literally, it's that simple. And it just will in the morning. And, my phone's
Does
not even
this say
there.
Sears on it, Wyatt?
Yeah. It's the legendary Sears.
Montgomery Ward alarm clock?
So some things like that, I think for me, modeling that for the team that I lead and then the volunteers that we lead, ultimately that's going to trickle down to the students that we lead.
Okay, so I want to ask this, and this is, and again, it's not a right or wrong answer. This is, I think, the tension that you're talking about that we have to manage. How descriptive or prescriptive are you getting in that? Like, are you like, is that part of when you teach and illustrate? Are you talking about some of your own personal rhythms to your students? When you're meeting and talking with your staff, are you like, hey guys, here's what I'm trying to set? Or is this like, I think we should try this? Because that's one of the things, even you talked about it a little, so we'll just say it again, like church-wide, y'all are kind of committed for the month of January to go like digital detox. Like that's a very prescriptive, like, hey, this is what we want all of us to do. So how does that show up in like both your leading of your staff and then also your teaching and leading of your students? Like how like, I mean, are there like analog alarm clocks to buy like in the hallway? Like, do you have like the merch? Like you have like youth group merch and alarm clock kind of thing?
We got an alarm clock. We got an oil lantern. So people just walk around like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes. We've got a Polaroid cameras for camp or whatever. Come on.
I got stone tablets so they can just take their notes.
Just selling pens in the lobby, everybody. We got pens. We got pens and notebooks.
So I would say what we've done that's prescriptive is, hey, the whole church is doing a fast, including our student ministry and all of our messages this month. And sermons and Sunday morning content.
So you're like printing out note pages and stuff.
Okay. Like we're every week. Who brought their physical Bible? Who brought their physical journal? If you don't have one, we have that. Your Bible, your physical Bible never gets a notification. As much as we like to say, oh, I have my Bible on my phone. Like when Snapchat pops up, they're looking at that, not the Bible.
Yep.
And so, we're like encouraging that in everything that we do. We also have like workbooks that we have that kind of accompany the digital detox that we've been offering. But the descriptive, I actually think, is more important, to be honest with you.
Come on.
And one of the things you asked was, like, are you, like, saying what you're doing in your life? The answer is yes. And, like, over and abundantly yes. I have done both where I've tried to say, hey, I read this article of this guy who does this. And we'll go through his like leadership principles or his daily habit or rhythm. And my team or students or whoever.
Listened to a podcast the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's really good.
It's good.
Thanks
It's
for that.
neat.
Yeah, good coaching. But whenever I stand in front of my team, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Mm.
They're like radically impacted in a way different and deeper way to know, man, my leader's doing this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's hold each other accountable in this. And so, yes, when I'm on stage and I'm teaching, I'm like over and abundantly telling students, this is what I am doing. Not as like a brag, but here, like I'm talking about the wrestle and how much I suck at it.
Yeah,
like I'm the chief buffoon.
Well, it's a form of witness, right?
Yeah.
Like this is one of those we bear witness. We don't just give advice, and like some of that shows up in the way in which God's working through you. Yeah. Okay.
And so it's really meaningful when, you've heard the phrase, "You can never lead someone somewhere that you haven't gone yourself."
Yeah, sure.
Once again, a cliche,
Yeah.
but
Maybe true. Yeah.
And that was actually really difficult for me. Like, I'm telling students, build these habits of reading scripture, spending 10 minutes in silence, and just praying without worship music playing in the background. With like just sit in solitude. Do I do that?
Yeah.
Like, am I just like barking at my students saying, do this, do this, do this? Like, here's this prescriptive thing you can do. If you just do these 4 things, all of a sudden you're a mature believer.
Yeah.
But am I actually living that? Like, am I actually putting into practice those disciplines and those habits? I mean, we're just reading in Matthew, after Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law, the very next thing he does is he goes into the wilderness. It says he rises early in the morning and he goes to a desolate place to pray and fast 40 days and 40 nights. I'm not a morning person by any means. I'm naturally a night owl. It's from years of watching Toonami. Years of staying up late on YouTube. Like, let me look up this secret
Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Exactly. So I've had to like discipline my body into submission, as Paul says. Like, I am forcing myself to get up in the morning because if I want to be like Christ, I need to do what Christ did. And what did he do? He got up early in the morning and he spent time with God. Yeah. And so like I'm forcibly trying to model doing that in my own life so that when I go to a student and say, here's why it matters, I'm speaking out of like a personal witness and like my own life experience, not just what I read in a Patrick Lencioni book or whatever else I'm reading. So
well, and I do feel like, because I think there's probably a split in our listenership, because there are some folks that comes really naturally to, but I do, because I mean it has been a recent journey for me. There was 15 years of ministry where I was like, well, they don't want to know about me. They want to know what they need to know.
Yeah.
But that's how they know. And I think that's one of the things that makes the youth ministry project about the students important, but also larger than just the students. But it is a way of knowing through those that they can see and understand. Like scripture can feel too far off. God can feel too big. And it's not that you are the end point, but you may be a translation point, an inflection point of like, here's Wyatt, who not only shared the stories of what it's like to be 17 and understood what to be 17, but has the wisdom to speak into, what he wished he knew at that age. So leader, what you knew at that age, or what you wish would have known, not just in a knowledge base of like, well, I wish I had the answer to this question, but like the life wisdom. I think this is where like why Proverbs gets included in scripture, right? Like it's why we need the Psalms and the Proverbs and the prophets. Like this is not just like, we want to know what's true. We want to know what's meaningful. And some of that, like you can't know at 16, 17. And wisdom would say like, there are ways to spare you the hurt from having to know it other ways. And so say just a little more for us though, because I think the danger for some folks of sharing too much can feel like that's either setting themselves up for failure or spotlighting themselves too much. So maybe the tension that we're managing between making it about themselves and yet also like, what are the ways in which that return it back or put it back to the students, so it's not just like a spotlight on me, but an invitation to them to something more?
Yeah. I think it all goes back to what I was saying earlier about that church I was serving at in Texas. When I wasn't doing the 5 dysfunctions of a team or, whatever Enneagram coaching about
personality
my life.
test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be with my student pastor and learn how to juggle.
Yeah.
Like there's this book that I was given a long time ago called Taking People With You. And it's just about taking people alongside of you. They just want to be involved in your life. And what me being with my student pastor and him sharing the rawness of his life, like not just the good, but the mistakes as well, it showed me that living an upright life and drawing close to Jesus was attainable. It was possible for me, even though I grew up in a house that was far from God, that ridiculed God, that mocked people that followed God, that called them Bible thumpers and all these things. Like my student pastor showed me, you can rise above that. Like you can push through like what maybe your nuclear family as a kid raised you to be. Like you can be what God wants you to be. Just pursue him, and you're going to stumble along the way. But when you fall in the kingdom, you're going to fall on soft ground. And that was like wildly encouraging for me. And so there was a time where I wrestled with this in teaching. Like, I don't want to always be talking about me. Kind of what you said. I want to spotlight myself. I'm not trying to be
who am I?
Who am I? I'm not trying to be prideful. And my student director at the time, when I'm wrestling with this with him, I'm like, I just don't want to make it all about me. He said, well, are you? Like, is that what you're trying to do? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he goes, then what do you have to worry about? If you're not trying to make it about you, I think they're going to pick up on that. If you are trying to make it about you, they will pick up on that. Like, students are going to sniff that out. And so that was actually like a really freeing, extremely simple truth for me of, I'm not trying to make it about me. What I'm trying to do is highlight what God has done in me. And if that's the heart, I think God can make up for maybe the other things or the gaps in between, so that when a student hears it, the Holy Spirit can give them what they need. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
That's awesome, man. Well, Wyatt, thank you so much for being with us today. I love any time that we get to spend together, and I love watching you grow and learn.
Thanks,
on the way out, 2026, we've been asking folks, win, lose, or meme. So what is something that you would want to see more youth pastors do in 2026? What would you want them to stop doing? And then what is something that, if you're projecting the meme of the year, what do you got for meme of the year this year? So you know, if you had guessed 6, 7 for 2025, you would have gotten the gold medal, as it were.
That would be absolutely crazy if someone guessed 6, 7 as the meme.
Just some Nostradamus figure that was like, in 2025, the numbers will be 6 and 7. Like,
something
how do you know
those
that?
Two numbers are just
something
great.
about those two numbers is creeping up.
Okay, so let me just start with the meme of the year. I would say the meme of the year is going to be something video game based.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to project in my Nostradamus.
In like a humorous way, or in like a significant way?
Humorous.
Not something humorous.
Humorous.
Okay.
I think that this past year, I have gamed in my life. And I think we've been kind of in a gaming drought of like elite games. And
Expedition 33 can't carry us forever.
Yeah, it's too French, you know. People are like, I can't connect with it.
What is this?
So I think this year, there's going to be something video game based that people will latch onto and probably go crazy. What do I think student pastors should start doing this year?
Or just like, if you're going to commit to something, if they were like on the fence about something, like this, like, guys, you have to get this right. Whatever it is, you have to get it right.
Commitment to your own spiritual formation.
Okay.
I think that, and that seems like probably what every pastor's been saying for 2,000 years. Like, commit to your own spiritual formation. Like, grow in your
I don't know if that's
relationship with
true,
Christ.
but I think it could be fresh enough. We're going to take it. We will take that answer.
I think it's a good one. And are you in love with Jesus when no one else is watching? Is Jesus enough for you when you don't have your perfect desk and you don't have your perfect matcha latte and you don't have a sermon?
Would you preach without a pub table?
Yes. Or like, are you in the Word? When it doesn't have to do with what you're teaching on Wednesday night. Like those.
Can you read the Bible without imagining how you would preach it?
Dude, that's actually really convicting, because there's many. Oh man, this would be fire in a sermon.
Such a good sermon. And I'm like, well. So one of my dear friends from seminary would spend time in Scripture. I need to follow up with them. The line that he always had is like, everything I read is a sermon. Sometimes I just preach them to myself, and I'm like, okay,
dude.
And I'm like, so basically he was fessing that he's got like notebooks of sermons that were only just preached to him, like audience of one kind of thing.
Dang,
and I'm like, ooh, you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that, but I'm gonna say you quote.
No, that's
it,
fine.
So.
No, you can have it.
What
should we lose though? What should we like? What are we tossing? Like, hey, like if they want to, it's fine. But like for you, like you're taking your money off this number. Like, yeah.
Long sermons.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what I would say.
okay. Do you have a particular
sermons.
threshold you're thinking of? When does a sermon become long?
So that's. Everybody probably has their own line. I'm going to say a number, and someone's going to be like, what? Did I preach for an hour on Leviticus every night?
75. I'm a feature film every Wednesday.
Dude, I think if you are not trying to land the plane by 25 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
We're like.
Yeah.
I have a student every week. He's my timer because he's falling asleep.
Okay.
I love him.
Does he sit down front too? Does he help you out that way?
Row.
Yes, good.
And I'll see him just falling asleep, and I'm like, crap, I'm going too long.
Come on.
And he's kind of my barometer. Like, if I can keep that kid awake.
Yeah, if he's in, we're in.
Good.
No, that's good.
And, I think when we go beyond that, if we're not trying to land the plane and power of one point and drive it home, they're going to walk away. Wow, that was really good. What'd you learn? I don't know, but it was good.
Well, so again, this is one of the things that we talk about, and so we'll talk more at the end. But our signups for the Experience Preaching Conference are live as of this week for folks to check out.
Let's go.
But one of the things that we talk about is if you can't hold it all in your head to prepare it, how are they going to hold it to carry it, right? And I think for a lot of folks that bring like, dude, they'll have like 8 pages of notes on their iPad and they're preaching through, and it's fire and it's powerful and it's passionate. It's even like well studied and researched. But for your kids that half of them aren't even taking notes and the other half are trying to keep up, you've given them more than they can carry. Yeah. And I think that there's a tension there of like, man, you got to prepare, and but what is the thing? This is the editorial, like you can't show all your work.
Yeah.
So like, what are you gonna not that it's not important, but in this moment, what's the most important? Yeah. And I think for a lot of folks, they're like, I mean, we tease, right? It's easier to preach a 40-minute sermon than it is a 20-minute sermon.
For sure.
So anybody that's like, I preach long, and I'm like, you took the easy way out.
Yeah,
no! Oh, it's too hot. Oh man! But thank you so much for being with us, Wyatt. We love you, brother. And we'll see you guys all back next week when we get to talk more about youth ministry.
Snap.